All right. Let's see if y'all can hear me. All right. All right. Shalom. Y'all be Shalom. Shalom. Y'all Bashim Y'all Shah, but thumb to the brothers. And Shalom. Shalom. Howard Shema, Lathan Bashim Y'all Shah to the sisters. With the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group nor any other Christian organization. So tonight's class, all right, is the Lashawan Qadash class. Now, the Hebrew class, which is the Lashawan Qadash class, is something very important. Like, this is a part of our culture. Like, this is a part of our customs. This is a part of our traditions, all right? And throughout the Bible, it was very important to know our language and to teach the generations that come after us our culture, our customs, and our traditions, which also involve our language. Like, a language distincts another nation of people from another nation of people. Like, the Lord always wanted everyone to be separate. Like, throughout the Bible, being separate and separatism is throughout the scriptures and throughout the Bible. The Lord never wanted everyone to be together. The Lord never wanted everyone to, come together at the table of brotherhood and be in our communities. Like, the Lord never wanted us to come together and all this type of nonsense. The Lord always wanted us to be separate. All right. The Lord is about being separate. It's so important for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to be separate and not together with these other nations on the earth. Like, listen, just like that shooting in Buffalo, that was a warning and a sign, and the Lord showing us how important it is for us to have our own society, our own community, and be able to live separately from these other nations of people, and be able to protect ourselves and have security forces in our own police department and our own, so we can police our own people and protect our own people from people like that, from people like Peyton and people from like Dylan Roof. You understand? It all starts by teaching our culture and teaching our customs and teaching our traditions. All right. We wouldn't have these problems if we understood how the Lord wanted us to form our nation and to form our community and to form our neighborhoods and to form our society. Like, the Lord would have had officers and captains and generals over the people in order to protect them and teach them and be there for them. All right. And they would have never gotten shot like the way they did in Buffalo, New York, because we would have never allowed Peyton in our grocery stores. We would have never allowed Peyton to get close to our neighborhoods and to our cities, right, and to places where we live and dwell and raise our kids. Like, we wouldn't even allow that to happen. You understand? That's why the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge is so important for us to come into this truth and learn how to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, to learn how to endure, to learn how to not give in, to learn how to fight your demons, to learn how to fight all these fight all the evil spirits on the earth, man. But all right, we're gonna get into tonight's lesson. All right, so first we're gonna focus on these on Hebrew grammar. All right, Hebrew grammar is something important. All right, you want to be able to grammatically structure your sentences properly. You do not want to not know how to structure your sentences. All right, you want to know how to structure sentences in the Hebrew, just like in the English. When you grew up, all right, in kindergarten, in first grade, and second grade, and third grade, and fourth grade, and fifth grade, and so far and so forth, you were learning how to properly speak the English language, and you were learning properly how to structure your sentence grammatically. Like, you were learning the proper way, all right, to speak the English language. Well, back here in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, we're going to teach so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans how to properly structure your sentences or their sentences grammatically. All right, we're going to do it grammatically. And so we're going to focus on the adjectives. All right, we're going to focus on the adjectives. So today, all right. So, Lucky, 1 second. So for grammar wise, okay, we're gonna go ahead and for adjectives, all right. So if you guys do not know what an adjective is, we're gonna get the definition of an adjective. But to tell you straight up, an adjective is describing something, of course, all right. All right, just give me a second. So I'm sure you guys know what an adjective is, but an adjective is really describing something, all right? That's what an adjective does. It's like describing a noun. That's the purpose of an adjective. So if you have an adjective is describing the noun. So I'm going to go ahead and write that, all right? So when I write down an adjective, all right, we're going to write, let me see. From our title, Hebrew adjectives. What's going on? Okay. Go sit down. Don't even worry about it. So now we have Hebrew adjectives. All right. So in the adjectives. Can I get down? Yes, go ahead and get down. All right. So here we go. An adjective is describing a noun. All right. Describing a noun. So make sure you guys understand that it's supposed to be describing a noun. That is the purpose of an adjective. All right. Stop. Sit down. Be quiet. Everybody sit down. Sit down. You can go ahead and color over there. You're in the classroom area, all right? All right. Remember, everybody is to be quiet. All right? Do you guys understand? All right. The water so much. All right. So now, adjectives, describing a noun, Salakia. So an adjective, the purpose of an adjective is to describe a noun. Can you guys see that? Hold on. I might have to write that just a little darker. But if you guys can't, the point of an adjective is to describe a noun. It gives you the description of a noun. So 1 second. All right. The description of a noun. So the description of a noun. Since you guys can't handle it, so I'm going to repeat myself. So Hebrew adjectives, the description is the description of a noun. So for instance, if you want to describe something like if something is good, all right, that's an example of an adjective. If something is bad, that's an example of an adjective. If something is great, that's something of an adjective. If something is big, that's an example of an adjective. Now, of course, these are words, but you would use that in conjunction of a noun. So if you want to say this is a big building, or this is a big city, or this is a great city, as in a big city, or this is a wonderful city, like this is a great city, or you would say this is a bad city or a good city, or whatever the case may be, or this is a good person, these are good people, these are bad people, evil people, whatever the case may be. These are adjectives using you in conjunction with nouns in order to describe the noun. That's the purpose of an adjective. So now, of course, the reason why we're going over this lesson, because this is something very important. the English language is completely different than the Hebrew language. There may be similarities, right, in certain cases when it comes to grammar, right, in certain areas, but not entirely. All right, Hebrew grammar is actually somewhat different than English grammar, and different than some languages. Remember, the Hebrew language is its own language. It has its own rules. It's unique to itself. All right. So when it talks about when we're going to talk about the Hebrew, when it comes to the Hebrew grammar, we're going to focus on where to position your adjectives. All right. There is a place when you're structuring sentences in the present tense. All right. And when you're making sentences, there is a place and a location where everything is put. All right. You can't just read the Hebrew and speak the Hebrew as if it's English, because it's not. Like if I say this is a great city, I'm saying that in the English, this is a great city. But to say this is a great city in Hebrew is completely different. All right. If I say he is a good person, all right, or he is good people, right? He is good people. All right. To structure that sentence properly, all right, I can't just say he is good people as if it's English. There's a proper way to structure that sentences grammatically, all right, in the Hebrew to make it grammatically correct. And that's something we're going to go over today. So now, the rules on adjectives. So let's get it. So when you want to describe something like a city, a noun, a person, place, or thing. A noun is a person, place, or thing, right? And so if you want to describe a person, place, or thing, all right, always remember that the adjective comes after the noun. All right. So in Hebrew, all right, in Hebrew, the adjective Okay, so when it comes to Hebrew grammar, hopefully you guys can read that. So when grammatically structuring sentences, all right, the adjective comes after the noun. Okay, so when you want to structure a sentence grammatically, when using an adjective, all right, it comes after the noun. In some languages, it comes before the noun. For example, when we're speaking English, right? If I say this is a good city, the adjective is what? Good. The city is the noun, right? So good is the adjective, all right? And the city is the noun. In English, that good came before the noun because it's a good city. But now, if I was going to structure this sentence in Hebrew, if I was going to grammatically properly structure this sentence in Hebrew, it would be read as this is a city good. This is a city good, because the noun, all right, the adjective goes after the noun, not before it. In English, it goes before, but in Hebrew, it goes after. So, for an example, a lot of people, for an example, let's say we want to say good morning. So I'm gonna get some examples on the board. Y'all bear with me. All right. Salakia. All right. So make sure you guys get this on the board. So we're going to get some examples on the board. So now let's say we want to say good morning. Now, of course, the noun is morning, right? Now remember the rule. Remember the rule. The rule is always the adjective comes after the noun. So now, bawakwar is how you would say morning in the Hebrew. All right. So I'm going to write it here. So you have tawab. Right. So like you have bawakwar. This is your ba. This is your wa. This is your kwa. And this is your ra. Then you have bawakwar. Bawakwar. You have your tawab. That's your ta. That's your wa. And that's your ba. Ta, wa, ba. So now, this will literally spell bawakwar, right? Tawab. So literally that would spell bawakwar tawab. All right, bawakwar tawab. All right, make sure you guys can see that. So now, this is bawakwar tawab. Now, if you guys for an example, now remember, this is the adjective, this is the noun. So this is the noun. This is the noun. This is the adjective. You guys see that? This is the adjective. I'm going to just capitalize the whole thing. So now this is the adjective. Now remember, this is still saying what? Good morning. Right? This is saying good. This is saying good morning. All right? Because this bawakwar is your morning. Your tawab is your good. Right? Bawakwar is morning. Tawab is good. Now in English, it's good morning because this is your adjective and this is your noun. All right? But in Hebrew, read from right to left, it's saying morning good. Bawakwar tawab. Good morning. All right? Bawakwar tawab is how you would say good morning. This is a good example of an adjective. All right? This is a good example of how to properly use an adjective in the Hebrew. So if you wanted to say good morning, you wouldn't say tawab bawakwar because this is not English. This is Hebrew. All right? This is the Lashawan Qadash. You would say morning good, technically, but it's pronounced as bawakwar tawab. All right? Let's give another example. We're going to use the same structure. All right. We're still going to use the adjective. We're still going to use the adjective tawab, right? But now we're going to say tazahar. All right, tazahar. Tazahar. Got your tazah, yaha, tawab. So this is your tazah. This is your ha. And this is your ra. Right here you go. Got taza. So you got tazahar tawab. Salakia. So you have tazahar tawab. Now remember, this is still the noun. All right, this is still a noun, which means, let me get closer. So this is how you would say good afternoon, right? So if you're trying to greet someone like, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. These are like greetings or farewells. Most likely a good night would be a farewell, while a good morning and a good evening and a good afternoon would be more so of a greeting, all right? You would say tazahar tawab. Tazahar tawab is how you would say good afternoon, right? Now necessarily you don't have to say Barakwar Tawab if you don't want to. You don't have to say Tazahar Tawab if you would not like to, whatever the case may be. But this is how you would translate it, Tazahar Tawab. I'm using these as an example to let you know that this is the adjective and this is the noun. The location of the adjective goes after the noun in Hebrew, not before. It goes after the noun in Hebrew. Let's get another example. So this is how you would say good afternoon, right? Tazahar Tawab. Tazahar Tawab, all right? Tazahar Tawab is how you would say good afternoon. So let's get another one, all right? This is your I, this is your Ra, this is your Ba. Yes.
Josiah and Noah are fighting over toys.
Sure. So now you have this is your I, this is your I, this is your Ra, this is your Ba, all right? You put that together, all right? You put that together, you get I rob. All right, I rob. So now this is I rob to rob. All right, this is I rob to rob. I rob to rob. I rob to rob. Now remember, this is still your noun. This is your noun within the greeting or the sentence, whatever the case may be, right? So remember, the adjective comes after the noun. This noun is how you would say evening. All right, evening. Evening. So, you got morning, you got afternoon, right? Noontime. Noontime is like the peak where the sun is out. Evening is when like the sun is getting towards a set. All right, the sun is starting to set. The sky is getting a little bit darker. That's the evening time. So, of course, depending on your time zone, whatever the case may be, this is your good evening. All right, I rob to wow. Now, remember, your adjectives are always located after the noun. Right, your adjectives are always located after the noun. So, I rob to wow. I rob to wow. I rob to wow. I rob to wow. Your I rob is the noun. To rob is an adjective, which is good evening. Right? This is how you would say good evening. I rob to rob. All right. I rob to rob. You guys have any questions as well? If you would like to know a word, just let me know. All right. I rob to rob is how you would say good evening. We're going to get one more, and then we're going to create a sentence within the present tense. All right. Using this. You guys might be familiar with this one. Of course, you guys know what's coming next. All right. There's only one more left that we can use. All right. So let's do the process of elimination. This is your la. This is your ya. This is your la. And this is your ha. All right. So that'll be la ya la. La ya la ya la. La ya la tawab, right? So you got your la ya la tawab. Be patient in Hebrew. All right. Arak. But I'll get that on the board for you. Arak, meaning to be patient. Arak. A-H-R-A-K. Arak. Being patient, meaning slow to anger. All right. But I'm going to get it on the board for you. So being patient can be used in an adjective. So let's say this person is patient. We're going to use that in a sentence. It's a good one. All right. So this would be night. This is a noun, which would be night. So this is how you would say good night. All right. That's like a UPK tradition, is to say good night when something crazy happens. We be like good night because something just crazy just happened, right? So we could say la ya la tawab, right? I believe there was a joke that a brother made maybe some years back. It was like, we'll say like, oh, this is heavy, good night, or something happens, good night, or they say something crazy, good night. But when it's time to go to bed, we be like shalom, right? We never say la ya la tawab, right? We never say good night. We just say shalom, Lord in Christ, or something, right? That was some joke that I seen like 2 years ago from some brother. It may have been from Captain Ariyah. It sounds like something Captain Ariyah would actually say. But you have la ya la tawab, which means good night. So if you say la ya la tawab, you're saying good night to someone. La ya la tawab. All right. So y'all take that time. So now remember, your adjective always goes after the noun, never before. After the noun. So layala tawab is how you would say good night.
No. Josiah.
So layala tawab is how you would say good night. All right. So that was a good question, right? So the sister would like to know, all right, mean how to say be patient in Hebrew. Okay. Very good. Okay. So I'm gonna take this off the board. Remember, adjectives come after the noun. All right. So no matter what, no one from this day forward should be putting an adjective, all right, before a noun. It always comes after the noun. All right. So now no one has an excuse. There is now no excuse that anyone should be putting adjectives before nouns. All right. I remember that used to be a pet peeve of mine. All right. Well, still is a pet peeve when I see brothers and sisters say Tawab Bawakwar instead of Bawakwar Tawab. It used to get under my skin. Of course, now I'm more patient. I'm more Iraq now. And I say Salakia, is actually Bawakwar Tawab and not Tawab Bawakwar, because in Hebrew, the adjective comes after the noun and not before it, like English. So now you guys know the rule. Now we're going to get a sentence. So let's say now we're going to structure this sentence in the present tense. All right, we're going to structure this sentence within the present tense. So now, okay. So since the sister asked it, we're going to make the sentence feminine, right? Because the sister asked the question, we're going to keep it feminine. All right. All right. So we're going to keep this sentence feminine. So now let's say this. I want to say this. These people. Let me see. Let me see what sentence I can write up. This person or these people. Yeah, let's say these people are patient. Give me a second. Let's look up these. Okay. So now, hey, Salaki, everybody sit down, take a seat. Okay. I want everyone to pay very close attention to this. So now this is where you're going to have to know definitions of certain words in the English. Okay. So now I'm going to break it down before. So I'm going to say these people are patient. All right. And these people are patient. I'm going to keep it feminine though. Right? I'm going to refer to these people as sisters. Right? Like these people, like these sisters, I'm going to say they're patient. All right? I'm going to keep it these people are patient. Okay? So first things first, if I want to say these, all right? You have the word za. Right? You have the word za. You guys don't know what za means? Za means this. All right? Za means this, which is za, which means this. But now, of course, if I want to say these people, right? Za can also mean these as well. Right? Can also mean these as well. Because these is plural. These is plural for this. So pay attention to this. Za. This is the word za. Za means this. All right. So your za means this. Okay. But za can also mean these because these is plural for this. So if you wanted to pluralize the word za, right? Za is this or these. Depending on the sentence, right? If I'm going to keep everything plural, I'm going to have to structure the sentence grammatically plural. I'm going to have to pluralize this sentence. All right? Just like okay, when it comes to Hebrew, we can either masculate a sentence or we can feminize a sentence because things are based off of gender. Well, our sentences are also based off of singularity and plurality, all right? Or being plural or singular. All right. So our sentences are based off of masculinity and being feminine. All right. So our sentences are based off masculine and feminine and singular and plural. Our sentences are based off of masculine and feminine and singular and plural. And then everything is categorized from there. All right. If you want to make categories from those things, you can. But you have masculine, feminine, singular, plural, right? Our sentences are structured based off of that. So za can either mean this or these, depending if the sentence is going to be structured singular or if the sentence is going to be structured plural. It depends. So singular is za for this. Plural is these. Singular is this. These is plural. Singular is this. These is plural. So this is singular. These is plural. This is singular. These is plural. This is singular. These is plural. So now I said that a few times because I want you to understand this. So when you structure your sentences, you want to be careful to make sure if it's masculine or feminine, and you also want to make sure if it's singular or plural. Because if it's singular, then you're going to have to make it singular. If it's plural, then you're going to have to make it plural, depending on what you're trying to say, of course. All right? Depending on who you're talking to, it's going to have to be masculine. Depending who you're talking to, it may have to be feminine. All right? You want to keep this in consideration. You want to keep this in mind. So you have za, and so za is either this or these. So I wanted to go over this real quick. So if I want to say these people, So I'm gonna write it in the English first. All right, in the Hebrew. I'm gonna write it. I'm still going to write it in the Hebrew, but I'm going to write it in the English format. So we have za. You have za, which is this. Okay, you guys can still see it. Okay. And I want to make sure I don't hit this glare, okay? All right. So now the sister asked the question, how to. Well, Salakia, I use great. I'm supposed to use patience. Salakia, patience. All right. These people are patient. Salakia. Raka. So now, okay. So now this is what we got right here. All right. So the sister asked how to say patient in Hebrew. So araka is how you would say patient in Hebrew. You would say araka. All right. Sounds like a good name too, right? Araka. Right. So you have za hawaya aim araka. So you have za hawaya aim araka. Okay. So I want y'all to. So this is your za. All right. Well, in this case, Salaki. Salakia. That's za meaning these. I just broke that down. 1 second, princess. So like it about that. You got Hawayawa. Okay, so here we go. So you have Za Hawayawath Aim Avaka. All right. So Za Hawayawath Aim Araka. So Za is how you would say these. Now, let me break this down. Za can also mean this, but because this is a pluralized sentence, how do I know that this sentence is pluralized? You can tell that this sentence is pluralized based off of it being in the present tense. And that wath, you see that wath right there? That wath after the verb to be, all right? That verb is now pluralized because it's being conjugated based off of the word they. Like, so they, like they are, okay. So let me break it down. You're trying to say these people are great, meaning they are great. I mean, they are patient. You're saying they are patient, but you're saying these people are patient. Okay? So you're saying these people are patient. So the sentence we're using, I'm going to write it in the English. All right? This is the translation. These people are patient. So here you go. This is the translation. These people are patient. That's what we just said right here, and I'm going to break it down. So this is your za. Your za meaning this or these. Now, because this is not a singular sentence, and the sentence is pluralized, this za means these. Then you have hawayawaf. Hawayawaf. Yeah, the verb haya or hawaya meaning to be in the present tense. Now, that hawayawaf, that's a conjugation. All right. This is a conjugation based off of the word they in the Hebrew in the feminine tense. This entire sentence is now feminine. Okay. This sentence is now feminine. Remember this. This sentence is now feminine. So you have hawayawaf, right? This is now a feminine sentence, right? And it's a pluralized sentence because you're talking to they, right? You're saying they are patient, but you're saying these people are patient. All right, these people are patient. All right, that za is taking place for the they. Does everybody understand that? So these people is in reference of they. Okay, so here we go. So these people is equal to they. Now they is a subject pronoun. Now remember, when it comes to learning the present tense and knowing the present tense, all right? When it comes to the present tense, the future tense, and the past tense, everything is conjugated based off of the subject pronoun. So they is a subject pronoun. Now, of course, this is in the feminine tense. So I'm going to put an F there for feminine. I'm going to put the F there for feminine because this is in the feminine tense. I'll go ahead and put feminine here as well. Feminine. because this is in the feminine tense. This entire sentence is feminine, by the way. This entire sentence is feminine. So this could easily be talked. So this could either be the Lord talking about the children of Israel in the feminine tense, of course, because we're under subjection. We're subservient to the Lord as a people. All right, we're in a position of serving. All right, which would be in the feminine tense in this case. Okay, or this could be just us talking about a group of sisters. These people are just strictly sisters, like women. All right. So you have Zah Hawayawat Aim Arakah. So Zah Hawayawat Aim Arakah, meaning these people are patient. Now remember, the Zah is these because this is pluralized. Because you know it's pluralized based off of the Waf. That Waf lets you know that this is now pluralized. And this is talking about more than one person. How did we get that Waf? How did we get this conjugation for the verb to be? We got it based off of the subject pronoun they. For the rule for the subject pronoun they, all right? The rule is you put a Y between the first and second letter, all right, of the verb, all right? Then you add a waf at the end, all right? So you add a waf at the end. This is how you know, okay, that this is a conjugation for they. So I want everyone to pay very close attention. So your Zah is these, how about your Waf? We know that this sentence is pluralized based off of the Waf. All right, how did we get this Waf? It's because the subject pronoun being used is they. These people was being substituted for they. Okay, these people are substituted for they. These people were substituted for they. Remember, these people were substituted for they. So instead of saying they are patient, we're saying these people are patient because these people are still a they. That's still a they. You guys, let me know if you guys understand that part, because that could be kind of difficult to understand, but I want to see if you guys understand that one gist of it. When I say these people are equal to they, these people were used in substitute. These people was a substitute for they. Instead of saying they are patient, we put these people, all right? These people are patient. Does everybody understand that part? Do you guys understand that part? Let me know, Khan or La, yes or no. Because remember, you have your Za, and maybe this will help too. All right, maybe this will help. I'm gonna rewrite that Za though. Maybe this will help you understand what I'm getting at. All right, because we're gonna have to understand language here. All right, we're gonna have to understand grammar and how things work. So you got these. Or this. Okay, Most High in Christ. Okay, I understand. So for anyone that may or may not understand, all right, the word this, all right, the word this has a definition. And I'm going to read the definition for everybody to give you an understanding of why I'm saying this, all right? So the definition of this is the person, thing, or idea that is present or near in place, time, so like a time or thought, or that has just been mentioned, all right? A time or place, all right? You also have the adjective plural, these, being the person, thing, or idea that is present or near in place, time, or thought, or that has just been mentioned. So this and these are the same thing. So this and these are the same thing, but this is singular while these is plural. So to give you some more, I'm going to just go ahead and write singular. right? I believe singular is SNG, abbreviated. So singular, and then you have plural. So you have singular, then you have plural. So your this is singular, your these is plural. Now you would use this or these and substitute for a noun. Now here's another rule in Hebrew. This is here your grammar, right? You see your subject pronouns? You can substitute subject pronouns for nouns. Okay? You can substitute subject pronouns for nouns. Well, that sounds bizarre, right? It's not bizarre because your subject pronoun is based off of a noun, right? That pronoun is based off of some noun, all right? That's why it has the word noun in it, right? Pronoun, because it comes from the noun, all right? It's a part of the noun. That's how you get your pronouns, all right? So these people, all right, these people are acting as a noun, right? Because it's taking place of the subject pronoun they. Okay, it's taking place of the subject pronoun they. Because you see this, these, this right here, you would use that. Most in Christ, you would use that. Okay, you would use that these or this in place of a noun. All right. So you would use that in the place of a noun. Then of course, people itself is a noun, right? People is a person, place, or thing. Naturally, it's a noun. So nouns can be substituted for subject pronouns. Now, based off of how the noun is stated, you want to see which subject pronoun would fit best. Okay, and that would be discretional. Well, it's not really discretional. That's just something you can be taught to as well. You might just know because you know the English language, or you just know because we've all been through school before, and I think we're all capable for sure of figuring out which subject pronoun can be substituted for which noun. And I'll give an example for that later on, just in case if anyone may have a hard time. There will be an example for Hebrew because it's a little different in Hebrew. I can understand because it's just sometimes there's a barrier there because it's a new language. All right, so don't feel any kind of way, because I was once there too. I was looking at this like I thought this looked like Chinese to me at one point. I said, "What the hell is this? I don't even understand it." All right, I was completely lost in the sauce. So you have your za, which is these and this. All right, these is plural, singular. All right. Of course, we know this entire sentence is pluralized based off that wa. All right, because this is based off of the conjugation, off of the subject pronoun they, and they is a plural subject pronoun. That subject pronoun they is pluralized by default because it's talking about more than one, right? Okay, and these people were substituted for that day. All right, so that's why we were able to get the hawa yawa to be in the present tense, but in the feminine form. All right, so you have za hawa yawa. Is everyone tracking? Then you have people. All right, this is a part of your noun. This is a part of your quote unquote substitution of the subject pronoun. These people. All right. All right, so za hawa yawa. All right. I'm his people. Now you're wondering, like, okay, that to be in the sentence, all right, that's your R. That A-R-E, that's your to be. That's your A-R-E, that's your R. Okay, that's your R right there, right? Like these people are patient, your R comes from that's your hayawa. That's your hawayawa. Okay, your R is your hawayawa. Okay, because your R is like you're being something, all right? You guys do understand that, right? Let me know if you guys are tracking. And I'm gonna give you the definition of it. So the definition of R, A-R-E, right? The definition of A-R-E present tense, second person singular, and present tense plural of be. This is the verb to be right here. So this is your ARE, this is your R, right? So this is your present tense, either singular or plural to be. So in this context, that's why you get okay. And also on a sidebar, you know, English is like my worst subject, by the way. English. So bear with me, okay? It's crazy. They got me teaching the language class, and I could barely speak English myself, but I'm teaching y'all Hebrew. So Salakia. So bear with me, all right? English was my worst subject. Math is where I'm at. But I'm going to explain everything to the best of my ability so everyone can understand, all right? So remember, I just gave you guys a definition of R. It's either the present tense singular or the present tense plural, right, for be or to be, okay? That's your definition of R. So A-R-E, you have R, okay? So you have your Hawa Yawa, that's your R. But this is pluralized, of course. So now this is your pluralized R, but in the feminine tense, all right? So Hawa Yawa is how you get your R, okay? So when we say these people are, this is your these people are right up here. Za Hawa Yawa Ain, all right? This is literally saying these people are, okay? Okay? This is literally saying these people are Za Hawa Yawa Ain. These people are, that's exactly what this is saying, and it's pluralized in the feminine tense. So Za Hawa Yawa, it's like Za Hawa Yawa Ain. Then you have Araka. Okay, you have Araka. Okay, the root word is Arak. Arak. Does anybody know what Arak means? Okay. Now hold on. Before y'all answer, I'm asking you this purposely. Does anybody know what Arak means? And it doesn't mean patience. Okay. It doesn't mean patience. All right. Everybody, take a seat. Take a seat. Don't push up. Take a seat. Everybody. So I'm asking you guys this purposely. So you have Arak. Now don't answer me patient. I don't want y'all to say patient. Give me I want you guys to actually give me the definition of Arak. Meaning, okay, what does it mean to be patient? Does anybody know what it means to be patient? Maybe that's a better question. Can anybody tell me what it means to be patient? And that's the real meaning of Arak. Because Arak does mean patient. Okay. Arak does mean patient. But what does it mean to be patient? Because a lot of our brothers and sisters believe that they are patient, and they're not patient. Some of them are not patient. They think that they're patient, but they're not patient. Even sometimes I sometimes trouble with being actually patient. All right. But patience is something to be built. That's correct. That is correct. Give the Aquaf a hand. Slow to anger. All right. Slow to anger. Patient meaning slow to anger. I think I may have taught you that, Salakia. I don't know. Or maybe I didn't. And if I didn't, Most High in Christ. Damn right. Most High in Christ. Damn right. That's an excellent answer, and it's the right answer. And that's the exact answer I was looking for. Meaning slow to anger. Slow to anger. So you have Arak meaning patient, and patient meaning slow to anger. So if you ever wanted to be patient, meaning you have to be slow to anger. You can't be easily quick to be angry at something. So like, let's say if someone is getting you, okay, let's say someone is doing something that you don't want them to do. That may anger you. But patience, meaning you're slow to anger, meaning it's getting you angry, right? But it's going to get you there slower, right? It is something that's going to make you angry, but you're not going to be angry. You're slow to anger, meaning it doesn't mean you're never going to get angry. By the way, being patient doesn't mean you're never going to get angry. Okay, because patience might have a time limit. Patience, patience may be, it just has a time limit sometimes. Of course, we want to build up our patience, meaning increase the timing. Okay, like every situation in life, you want to increase timing of your patience. Of course, naturally, what I've seen, the older you get, the less your patience go. All right, the older you get, the patience goes down. A lot of old folk don't got no patience for nothing. They quick to anger. Do something they don't like, that's it for you. That's it. There's no patience in their book sometimes. All right, but of course, as a people or even as an individual, you want to build up your patience no matter what. All right, I don't care how old you are or how young you are. You want to build up your patience, meaning you want to increase your patience, meaning increase your timing to be angry. All right. If this tapping noise might make you angry, right? And I'm going to keep tapping. And you're like, dang, that makes me angry, right? Over time, the more I tap, the less you get angry. All right. And then, it doesn't get you angry right away, I should say, right? This is not going to get you angry right away. Right? Of course, once I start doing this in the beginning, you're already angry. That means you have no patience. But if I'm doing this, and then you get angry, you had a little patience because I had time to stop. You guys get the point of slowing to anger, okay? So, Zahawa Yawath Aim Avaka. So that's how you would say that sentence. All right? Zahawa Yawath Aim Avaka. Okay? Put this into your notes. Hey, put that down. Down, Bubba Kusha. All right. So Zahawa Yawath Aim Avaka. Okay, you guys can actually see that on the board too. Okay, Most High in Christ. Okay, I was afraid that it might be too small, but you guys can see the board very clear. That's great. Most High in Christ. Okay, so this is how you would use now to point out. You see how it's saying these people are patient. All right. All right, these people are patient. Better yet, I'm going to rewrite it in the English. All right, I'm going to rewrite it in the English to make a point. It doesn't change anything, by the way. So now I have these are patient people. So what I have on the board now is these are patient people. All right. These are patient people. This is still me saying these people are patient or these are patient people. I'm saying the same thing, right? I'm just wording it differently. Well, in the Hebrew, nothing changes. Y'all get my point? Nothing changes in the Hebrew. If I want to say these are patient people or these people are patient, in English, in English, there's two ways to say that. These are patient people, or these are patient people, or these people are patient, right? There's two ways to say that in English, right? But in Hebrew, both of those two sentences, same thing, doesn't change. Zahawayawath aim avaka. These are patient people, saying the same thing. These are patient people. These people are patient. These whatever the case may be, those two things are in this one sentence. All right. That's what makes Hebrew. That's what makes Hebrew so awesome and so great. All right. And so less confusing. All right. So Zahawayawath aim avaka. Right. Zahawayawath. It's like Zahawayawath aim avaka. Zahawayawath aim avaka, meaning these are patient people. Now here we go. You see how this is patient? This is your avaka, right? Meaning patient or slow to anger. These are people, right? You see how in the English, this is your adjective. Being patient is your adjective in this case, right? So being patient is used as an adjective. Okay? This right here, patient, is being used as an adjective, right? Then people is your noun. Patient people, right? You see how in the English, your adjective comes before the noun. But in Hebrew, your noun comes first, then your adjective. I wanted to write it that way so you guys can see what I'm talking about, all right? So you guys can get a better example of how to use Hebrew adjectives, and it's going to be used in the present tense, all right? All right, any more questions? All right, let me know if that answered your question, and let me know if there's any more questions. All right. So Zahawayat Aim Avaka. All right. So Zahawayawat Aim Avaka. Okay, let me know if this answers your question. I think it does, of course. Avaka, I think I said yes, I understand. The what? Okay, yeah, so that answers your question. Most High in Christ. Anybody else? So Zahawayawath. I'm is how you would say people. Araka. Arak. Arak is how you say patient, but Araka is how you make it feminine. All right. These are patient people. All right. All right. All right. Zahawayawath, I'm Avaka. Does everybody understand this? Let me know. Comment on live before I move on. I don't want to move on until everybody gets it. All right. Does anybody have any questions based off of this? Okay. If not, I can move on and give another example. All right. All right. Okay, so that's what we have on the board. So you have your Zahawa Yawat Aim Avaka. This is a good example of how to use adjectives in a sentence, and also when it's structured in the present tense. All right. There's a good example. Zahawa Yawat Aim Avaka. Zahawa Yawat Aim Avaka. Okay. Zahawa Yawat Aim Avaka. Get another example before class ends. All right.
No. Yes. No. 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 Yes. No. Yeah. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Let it go. Yes. Yes. Say yay.
Hold on. All right. Yeah. Change the next sentence. Let me see. Okay, so this is what we have on the board next for an example. So I'm gonna end the class with this, all right? So make sure y'all follow along. So you have Yerushalayim. So Yerushalayim is how you would say Jerusalem. Now Yerushalayim is how you would say Jerusalem in Hebrew. Yerushalayim, 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 right? Meaning teaching of peace. So Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, right? In the Hebrew, Yerushalayim, right? Yerushalayim, Jerusalem is a city, right? So your Yerushalayim Hawayah, all right? That Hawayah meaning to be in the present tense, but in the feminine tense, all right? Now, in the Bible, cities are always in the feminine tense. When you're always describing a city or talking about a city, is always in the scripture as well, all right? It's always a her or it's always a she. And so that's why it's in the feminine tense, right? So you have Hawayah, all right? That's why I put it in the feminine tense, right? So you see down here, Jerusalem is equal to she because this to be, this word Hawayah or this verb hayah, which is Hawayah, it got conjugated to Hawayah because it's based off of the subject pronoun she. We were able to conjugate the word, so like we were able to conjugate the verb haya to hawaya based off of the subject pronoun she. Right? Jerusalem equals she. Okay? So Yerushalayim hawaya means Jerusalem. She is, right? She is a Ayar Gadal. Ayar meaning city, Gadal meaning great. Meaning Jerusalem is a great city. So that she is, okay? To also add, that she is equals implied in the sentence, right? So that she is equals implied, meaning that she is there. Like like Jerusalem, she is a great city, right? So literally, this sentence is saying Jerusalem, she is a great city, right? But you can say Jerusalem is a great city. You're saying the same thing, all right? You don't have to say Jerusalem, she is a great city. So Jerusalem, she is a great city, and Jerusalem is a great city is the same thing as how you would say it here. Yerushalayim hawaya ayar gadol. Yerushalayim hawaya ayar gadol. So if you want to say Jerusalem is a great city, or Jerusalem, she is a great city, you would still say Yerushalayim hawaya ayar gadol. All right. So here's another example of how you would use your adjectives in the Hebrew. All right. All right. So you guys get that. So remember, this is how you would use adjectives, all right, in the Hebrew, all right? With that, that's the class. I say Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yohana. And we are not affiliated with any other Israelite group or any other Christian organization. Ahmadim, which means to stand. We're going to give a courteous salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Madim Shabbat, Ahmadim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Barakathum, Yadim Matah, Sar, La'agwafian, which means turn to the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Ahmadim Shabbat, Ahmadim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'ashim Yahushua. Yadim Matah. With that, class dismissed.